So I did wear a different shirt last Friday.
It's a different checkered shirt.
I got a blue one and a lighter blue one. I don't want to get crazy.
You know what? I got to get myself a little checkered dress.
Wouldn't that be cute?
That'd be so cute.
Isn't there a name for this?
Gingham.
Gingham. I love it. I decided this is the ideal home shopping shirt.
Okay.
It's a little business, because it's got a collar, but it's got the, kind of a country feel to it. It's not serious business like an Oxford white shirt.
It's like a mullet, business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm friendly. I'm not being aggressive. Welcome to the show. My name's Tom Wise.
And I'm Melinda McKinesy. And what are we doing today, Tom?
We're unpacking some shit.
We are.
We got a special guest.
I'm so excited about our guest too. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And then we got another guest for Monday too.
Yeah, we're killing it.
What are your topics, darling?
Yes.
What? I watched a little bit of 100 Humans. It was interesting.
And do you like it?
Yeah, I'll watch some more.
I thought it was right up your alley because it's just human nature. Why do people do what they do? And to guess the responses, because you're a guesser. You like to guess.
I love guessing. I always guess.
Yeah.
I'm famous for going to Publix and guessing the price of the whole cart. I don't do any math in my head.
Yeah.
I just look at the thing, and I'm Charlie, 2 for 1. Buy one, get the second one free. Buy 3, get 1 free. This kind of. So it's impossible to look at the cart and just do a math because you'd have to negotiate all your bow and goes.
Yes. I'm always wrong about the total in my cart. It's funny because when I was poor, I always had a list so I wouldn't get distracted by the stuff, right? So when I have money, then I don't look. One of the best times I ever had at a grocery store was we had moved and my kids were unhappy about the move. And so I was trying to do things to go, oh no, life is great. So we went to the store and I gave them a cart and I said, get whatever you want. And they looked at me and they're like, are you sure? So they started grabbing chips. And I didn't stop them, and they filled up the cart. It was like $300 for what they grabbed, which is,
right.
That's fine for a one-time hit.
Right.
But here's the thing: they didn't pick up electronics, or they could have. There's other fun things in the grocery store. They didn't figure out that part of the game because they were elementary age. But boy, were they happy that they could get more than one bag of chips.
What'd they buy for $300? Were they getting steaks and pizzas? They
eventually figured out. They bought some lobsters, and they started figuring out, once they realized they could do more than chips, then they went to the ice cream, and then they started buying all these crazy frozen things that I would always say no to. And then they're like, wait, she's still not saying no. Lobsters. And they didn't even like the lobster, but they knew it was fancy.
Right. And they didn't care that their mother had been taken over by aliens.
They did not care.
We like the new mom.
Most fun I ever had at the grocery store.
That's great.
Yeah. So, okay, here are my topics.
Yes,
I heard something yesterday that I think you're going to want to talk about. We're going to talk about Tinder and Baby Yoda together in one.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about behind the scenes, right? And that could be behind the scenes of many, many things. And we're going to talk about what's your subscription.
Oh, I like that. Because we have so many decisions we make, what are we going to subscribe to? What are we not going to subscribe to? Yes. I mean, now it's becoming, everybody wants you to subscribe. You can't watch everybody's stuff.
You can't. I mean, even though we think we have a lot of downtime, we have a tendency to fill it up, don't we?
I usually do the same 3 things. I'll, listen to a certain podcast. Actually, there's 2 podcasts I listen to. And then, although I'm subscribing to 50, there's 2 I listen to. And then,
yes.
And, then there's how do people cut the cable? What do they do for that? What do they subscribe and do for that?
Yes.
Does anybody subscribe to a magazine anymore? I'm sure you do. I know I try.
I do. I just bought Vanity Fair because of their ad. Their ad said that Trump hated them and Trump wanted to burn them down. They're the worst magazine ever. So I was like, I'll buy that.
And then my topic, since we've got a guest and you've got a nice list, is going to be biggest breaks. But let's do yours first.
Okay.
I want to do that Yoda thing.
This is so great. So yesterday I was in the car, so I had the radio on, which I don't normally listen to the radio because the thing about today's world is you can go, Alexa, play me cello music, so I'm not listening to the radio. So yesterday was street cleaning day in New York, so I had to move my car. So when it's street cleaning, my driveway has not been prepared yet. It's too steep for my lower car. So I had to move the car. As I'm moving the car, there's a talk show on, and they said, "Did you hear what happened on Tinder?" And I was like, ding, ding, ding. What happened on Tinder? Go on, go on. Well, apparently this guy on Tinder had a picture of himself, and in his picture, he very obviously photoshopped Baby Yoda, and he said something about kids just hanging out, like it's not my kid, just hanging out. You know how guys do, this is just my niece, just hanging out with my kid. Very obviously photoshopped Baby Yoda. As you probably know, Tom, because you're very current and modern day, Baby Yoda is quite popular, and
absolutely.
a lot of people want to get their hands on Baby Yoda.
He's crying, he's watching, he's observing, yep.
Yes. So a lady reached out to him, "Oh, Baby Yoda, hey," having a conversation. And it's clearly photoshopped. And she said something about the baby. And he said, "Oh, no, it's a Photoshop. You're a catfisher," she said. "You catfished me with Baby Yoda." She turned him in. They, what's it called, banned him, deleted his account. He reached out to Tinder and said, "Hey," and they said, "No, you falsified information." And so he got banned from Tinder because of this. One chick got her feelings hurt because she wasn't smart enough to know that that was a clear Photoshop picture.
So she thought the man had a baby that looked like Yoda?
No, she wanted, I guess, to get her hands on Baby Yoda, and she felt like it was false advertising that he didn't really have one.
I mean, a real baby?
Not a real baby, the doll, the doll, the actual doll.
So why did she think she was going to have access to it just because the guy shows it in a picture? Can I have access to your monkey? It's a bit right off your right shoulder.
Well, maybe this is a chick that's just looking for trouble, and she's going to be mad no matter what the hell happens. And
now we're getting closer to the truth.
I mean, listen, I'm all for supporting women, but I'm not going to support crazy. Why would you have someone banned when they had a comical picture?
It's ridiculous. It's funny. We're becoming this cancel culture.
Yes.
Where people are responding to, "Oh, we don't like the way we're going to cancel everything." It's like, you know what? And love them or hate them, the NRA and Trump, they never apologized for shit.
Well, it would take them forever, right? If they
whatever. But I'm saying, it's an interesting philosophy when you don't see. So you're a small person, you're yelling at a corporation, and they're dancing, and you're getting off on their dancing to your. Somebody looked at me sideways at my store. I think 3 people should be fired. So and like Tinder, we're just like Amazon. Amazon always sides with the customer. Tinder, they don't want any trouble. We're just going to ban you. Boom. It's really not a good situation.
Yeah, no, I did some research after that because I was curious, and it said that it's very easy to get banned on Tinder. It happens quite frequently.
Because they don't want to go to court saying, if somebody wants you banned, you're banned.
Yeah.
You're on your own. Yeah. And
yeah.
You're not coming back.
And talking about the big guy laughing at the little guy, I also read an article where Bezos, he's building some new property, and the neighbors were complaining because he kept parking his car like in areas that the car wasn't supposed to be parked. He ended up paying $16,000 in parking tickets, and he said, "I don't care. It's where I want to park."
There you go. So the fine for the common man, which would be, dunning, you couldn't operate your life eating those parking tickets, is just the price of doing business. It's almost like he's renting private parking. Yeah, all right, it's for private parking. I'll just rent it here.
This is why people kill themselves for money. Money's power, and power, I think, shows you who you really are.
Well, you mean kill themselves metaphorically?
Yes. You know what I mean.
I know, if you kill yourself, then the money's no good.
You know what I mean.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Yes, I mean, here's the thing that
no, power is money is, we're all dancing to that tune.
And they started that whole lie about how money doesn't buy happiness, or lies. It buys a lot of happiness.
A lot of happiness, a lot of parking. A lot of lording it over your neighbor.
It really does. Well, I've said this a lot where, people were saying, "Oh, well, once he got money, he became a real jerk." No, he was already a jerk. Now you see it more because now he's just a bigger version of who he was.
That's what they always say, that money just makes you more of what you were. If you were a nice guy, you're a bigger nice guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. What's something really fancy that you did when you started making money? Did you do a fancy thing for yourself?
Well, besides buying the ranch,
That's fancy.
that's fancy. I mean, it's a choice to make a lifestyle. And then I bought a car with cash. That was nice. Brand new car. Only car I've ever owned in my life that was brand new. It
Yeah.
has over 300,000 miles on it right now. It's the only car I drive.
So it was a good choice. It worked in your favor.
Perfectly. The car's 16 years old.
Wow. Remind me what it is. I know it's giant.
That black Expedition. I love it.
Expedition.
I just throw my stuff in the back. I chuck full it with stuff when I go to Home Depot or Lowe's, cinder blocks, 2x4s.
You've never really babied it then. You kind of just.
It gets to a point where it gets 3 hits on it in the parking lot. Like, I didn't hit something. I got a dent on this. I have literally, you know what? I did drive it through the barn and I wedged the wheelbarrow. And I ended up opening the door. It's like, so at some point at around 123,000, it's like, I'll wash the outside and vacuum the inside once in a while, but I'm done getting upset about it. Hey, can we bring in our guest?
Let's do it.
Let me see if I can bring Chuck in.
Okay.
I'll bring him in.
Give us some background. Tell us what's going on.
Chuck is a supporter of the show. Facebook friend of mine. We have some things in common. Well, let's find out. Let's find out what Chuck is. Chuck's joining us.
Okay.
We'll see. I hit the button.
Very exciting. And we've got a photo. Hopefully we're going to get a live shot of it. Seems like it's happening.
It's a
very exciting.
Chuck, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Now, no video, just a picture?
Oh, maybe I need to fix it. I have to click the setting at the bottom. Here we go. Start video. I've never done Zoom before. Here we go. Here we go.
There you go.
Let me take my glasses off. There's a glare on my glasses, so I can't be able to see me. So
you look great.
Thank you.
Welcome to modern technology.
Yes.
So Melinda was asking me, how do we know each other? Are we just Facebook friends? It seems like
just Facebook friends.
Not even a home shopping connection? Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we never worked together, but it's just I've been a HSN fan for 35 years and just from Facebook.
Isn't that something? Now, Melinda, take a whack at Chuck's last name. Go ahead.
I can't see it on the screen.
Snit.
Oh, I see it now. Snitchler?
Snitchler. You're close. Yeah, Snitchler.
Snitchler. I like that. It's one of those things that you could say it easily, but looking at it, it's like my tongue took a left turn between the T and the C.
Is that the name you use when you order pizza?
Yeah, that's my real last name. Yep.
It's funny because my sister has a difficult last name, so she'll just use a different name because people can't say her name. So I wondered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We always use our last name. Yeah. It's a German last name. It's an Americanized spelling of it. The German spelling was I think it was Snitzler or something I think it was pronounced Schnitzler or something. This is the Americanized spelling.
Right.
I don't know why my answers couldn't have changed it to Smith or something, but.
Right. No.
Does anybody ever spell that right?
Probably.
No, well, it's been misspelled a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, recently people have gotten better at spelling it correctly, but yeah, it does get misspelled a lot. But that's how when you have an unusual last name, that happens.
Let me just tell you, I was introduced to people misspelling my last name when I was 9 years old. I was in a race at the Portage Park pool. I was on the swim team.
Yeah.
I get out of the pool. I was in a race, and what's your name? Wise. Wyze? No, it's not. And it's been like that my whole life. It's like I have to say wise, like a wise guy or wise chips. They all want to misspell it.
I mean, it's a fairly common name.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't want to say it. They don't want to spell it.
Or crazy. Wise, or they could say Weiss.
It can go south really fast, and most of their first try is not the proper spelling. Believe it or not.
Right.
Oh
So who do you like? Who'd you follow on Home Shopping? Bob Costa and Tina Berry, or
Budget Bob? Yeah.
Did you ever
Definitely
get a
Bobby Ray.
Did you ever call in and get a tooth?
Colleen Lopez.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've been watching so long. I remember when Carmela Richards was there. I mean, this is like summer of '85.
Wow.
So,
That was
yeah.
before me. I started in '87.
Yeah, I remember when you started. I remember when you also did that home shopping overnight service.
Yes.
Oh.
We were at, well, look at Melinda. There was nothing lascivious about it. It was the, it was the overnight, like New York. We were based out of the what is it? WOR?
It was WOR in Secaucus, New Jersey,
And it was
which
huge.
was in the New York market.
It was a huge. I mean, we would do about $300,000 a night in sales.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember because back in those days, I got WOR on my cable.
Right.
And that's where I watched it. Okay, now I remember they had I think Home Shopping had moved to where they're at now. Was that done in the old Levitt Center studio? I seem to recall that.
Yes, I got hired in the Levitt Center, and 3 years later, 2.5 years later, they opened up the new spot near the St. Pete Clearwater Airport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Brian Collard and I were the first. Well, actually, I was the first host to start the show because my time slot was midnight to 3. So they were going to flip the switch and introduce the new studio at midnight. But I was told not to introduce the studio. Bob Circosta was going to introduce the studio at the 8 o'clock in the morning show. So Roy Spear, who was a founding father, kind of a gruff character, frankly. He did not like people. He was the man that instituted robotic cameras in the studios because he didn't want to pay union guys. He didn't want to pay anybody to stand by the camera. So he went ahead and bought robotic cameras. He also is he was a leading architect for voice interaction with the customer. I mean, now you're common, hit 3, hit 2, voice.
Right.
He was a founding. He and was it Motorola or somebody? They ended up suing each other at the end, but they developed all that 2D stuff, which was the electronic.
Yeah, I remember 2D. Yep. From the horn, like you'd call in and then the host would give you a toot with the bicycle horn. Yeah, I have a bicycle horn. Yeah, oh my God.
Thanks for
calling.
God,
how that's fun.
That's crazy.
You're live on the air. Would you like a toot?
I want to ask you a question. Since we're talking about HSN and one of our topics is behind the scenes, are there any behind the scenes questions you have about home shopping? Since Tom and I both work there, it's very likely.
Mostly me, though.
Mostly Tom. Tom is much more famous. I'm riding his coattails.
No.
Can you, do you have any questions about behind the scenes that maybe we could possibly answer? Make it juicy.
Oh, okay. Let me think. I can think of something really juicy. Okay. What was it like working with Adrian Arpel?
Adrian Arpel. Well, they come in. Can you answer that question, Melinda?
I worked with her.
Really? No,
okay.
I just saw her. I don't know that I ever had any shows with her because she was selling female cosmetics and stuff. But they ended up coming in as an entourage. That type of person, they seem to work in their own bubble. They're surrounded by 3 or 4 yes people. They shuffle into the green room. She seemed to be nice. I mean, she was a huge get when Home Shopping landed her, and
I'll be brutally honest, as I normally am, Chuck. So I was on both sides.
Here we go.
Here's the juicy stuff.
Here's juice. So before I was a guest on Home Shopping, I modeled skincare products, and I happened to audition for one of Adrian's lines, and then later I worked during the hours with her in beauty. So the first story is when I auditioned for her, it was in one of the big rooms at Home Shopping. I'm sitting there waiting, and here's how she picks her models. You, go, yes, no, I don't like her eyes, I don't like her skin, go. So she comes up to me, and I was in my probably late 40s, and she said,
hello.
Stay, I like your lips. Okay,
wow.
we had to come in with no makeup, right? They wanted to see our skin, no makeup. And that was horrifying to me because, as someone who loves makeup, I didn't want to do. So I waited. Ended up sitting there for 2 hours. It got whittled down from hundreds to like 5, right? So I'm sitting there. She's talking to her assistant, who I couldn't even tell you what her name is. The assistant comes up to me, is in my face, and says, I don't like her lips. So Adrian comes up to me and she goes, you, go.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Just like that.
The guillotine.
So I'm not saying she's mean, but it was very unnerving. So then when I worked with her, then later, a few years later, I was in beauty, selling beauty. And I will say this, she has flawless skin and you never, ever want to fuck with her. She's very serious. Don't step on her toes, don't get in her way, and don't talk to her before a show because she is a money maker and she does live in her own, or she did then. I think even then she was in her 70s. You know what I mean? She's like got to be in her 80s now.
I think she's close to 80. I think I looked it up. I think she was born in 41, so she'll be 80 next year, I think.
Chuck, didn't she have a like a private label that she ended up selling to somebody or selling her name and then she couldn't use her name anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, because that's when she started going on the air as Adrienne with Signature Club A, and she sold her company Adrienne Arpel to another company. And I remember like another shopping channel, I think Shop at Home, sold the Adrienne Arpel products with some other guests, and then that's when she came up with Signature Club A, and then just went by just Adrienne, like Cher.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Chuck, what about you? I see you're in Indiana.
Yeah. I'm actually near Chicago. I'm in a city called Hobart, and we're near Gary, but not that close to Gary. And then we're kind of like right outside of Chicago. We're part of like the Chicago market. So I get Chicago TV and radio.
Oh, how nice. I'm from Chicago, you know, and then I probably, we'd swing through, hold our noses as we drive through Gary, heading towards Michigan.
Yes.
I mean, back when I was a kid, Gary, Indiana was very industrial. I don't know if they are now, but there used to be smokestacks. It was a horrible smell.
Yeah, it still is. They still have the steel mills and everything, but I mean, the downtown area, you don't want to go there.
So how'd you find our show? And what do you like? What do you like about Melinda best?
You're funny, and I like all the topics you bring up. And it's just you need a good laugh these days with everything that's going on in the world. You need a good laugh.
Amen.
So I've been watching it every day, preparing for my little debut here, and I've been laughing, and it's just we need fun. We need fun in our lives, especially nowadays.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Chuck. And you know what? Let us know what topic ideas, because Tom and I are always coming up with topics. So please let us know, because we will talk about anything, as you probably have picked up on by now.
Yes. Well, I want like more of the behind the scenes stuff of HSN. I like that. I'm into all the behind the scenes stuff, having watched it since I was 14.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can
The
drop
summer of '85. So I'm gonna be 50 in October. So
you're a baby. You're such a baby. Tom, I'm 59. How old is Tom?
I'm 62.
See, you're a baby, Chuck. You're a
kid.
baby.
You sure don't look it, I mean, 60s now are like the new 35, I guess.
It really is.
Yes.
But it's all good. I started in '87. I lasted to '97, and I worked with Kevin Harrington for 3 years, and then I circled back as a vendor and on-air guest, I guess, in the 2003 or so.
Yeah.
So I've been with them as for about 17 years. Gosh, longer as a guest and a vendor than I was as a host.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember when you were a host, but it did seem like you've been a guest a lot longer than your host days.
Well, you couldn't. They wouldn't let us transition from hosting. I got fired. My ex and I, Terry Toner, got fired on the same day.
Really?
I had three babies in diapers, and I get a message on my machine saying, they want to talk to you at personnel. I go, oh, that's no good. And then the next message was for Terry that they wanted to talk to her personnel, but they were very generous. I mean, we didn't. I mean, I was last there 10 years as an on-air as a talent, and I saw people get fired. They'd fire a couple people every year. New management. They were crazy about new management. Every couple of years there was a new guy running the place, and then they'd always bring in their own people. So you try to survive the cut, and there was just one time I wasn't going to survive the cut, but they were very generous with me. I mean, I had a year, not a contract. They gave me a year's severance when they said goodbye.
Oh wow!
Here's a year's severance. So
That's a good thing.
Never had any complaints about HSN. And then, but they wouldn't let me come back as a guest for a while. But then they let Terry Toner come back, and she continues to guest. And then, about 3 years later, after more personnel people got fired, I applied, and they said, "Yeah, come on back as a guest."
Oh, that's good. So it's like you're coming all full circle there.
Yeah, and I love it because the shopping is a positive experience. I used to be a big fan of talk radio, listen to Larry King and all the talk radio guys out of Chicago. There was just a ton of them. I always aspired to do something like that, but there's always that, political thing, your news thing. There's always that black cloud hanging over a lot of things. It's usually generate conflict in your talk shows, who's for Social Security, we're taking it away. But then shopping is, hey, it's a positive experience. I'm buying something for me. I'm getting something for somebody else. I'm seeing people who don't know. It was a nice combination for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So Chuck,
and it's fun to watch too. I mean, when, with all the stuff in the news, I mean, especially with that, circus last night, I had to turn on HSN QVC. I said, I've had enough of this. I turned the channel. I said, I'll just sit. I was watching Sean Killinger selling poopery. And I said, how appropriate poopery with all the stuff that's going on with this convention. I said, it's appropriate that they're selling poopery on QVC now.
Oh my gosh, I love Sean Killinger. She's one of the nicest hosts I've ever worked with. And I think we definitely should do behind the scenes, because Tom and I could do a whole show only on behind the scenes. So many funny things have happened. But I want to ask you, Chuck, what's one of your favorite things you bought from home shopping? Do you have like some favorite stuff?
Oh, so many things. I think it's the George Foreman grill is probably number one.
I bought that too.
That was amazing.
And I got a new one recently too, because it was falling apart. Like the plastic was falling off. It still worked, but I decided to get an upgrade. So I have the newer George Foreman grill.
That's nice.
So yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, thanks for joining us, Chuck. What a nice, nice treat. And
yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
Anybody want to say hi to? Any shout outs? Any websites we should go see? Are you starring in a movie soon?
Yeah, right. It would be a horror movie.
Well, very good, sir. We'll keep in touch on Facebook then. Thanks for
great.
Us.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Can you click yourself out?
Yes.
All right. Very good, sir.
I got to put my glasses on too.
There you go.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye, Chuck.
Bye, Melinda.
Bye.
And there you go.
I love him. I love the background story, how he started watching HSN, saw the show. Because the great thing about Facebook, people complain about Facebook, but the great thing about Facebook is how it does connect people. It really does. And if you don't like what's going on, delete the stuff you don't like what's going on. Focus on the stuff that works for you.
It was funny because not for nothing, but I'd walk into the tower at home shopping. I'd been there 8 years, walk into the tower.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you. You walk in a control room. Everybody, and I try to be a nice guy. I try to be a nice guy and know as many people as possible. But I know one for every 50 people that would say hi. Oh, hi. Do I know you? Ugh. It felt so bad about that because I felt I'm far from a prima donna.
Well, because your face is always on this.
Well, yeah.
I know. I felt the same way too when I go into the tower. It always felt very intimidating to go in the actual tower.
Right.
When people were nice to me, I was always thrown by that because I didn't know any of their face. I don't know the buyers or anybody.
They're saying hi to you. Oh, hi, Melinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. It's always.
It's so fun.
I tell you, it's the perfect type of celebrity.
It is.
You can't go out. I mean, could you imagine, somebody going out for dinner somewhere, Alec Baldwin or whatever, and you just couldn't get a moment's peace. You're known by a fraction of the population. You get identified out in the world once every couple of years.
Yes.
Like, this is perfect. And it's fun. You get to pretend that you're a celebrity.
Yes. I've only been recognized twice, and in both times it was because I was working solidly for Martha Stewart. So it was Martha Stewart fans who watched the show, and they recognized me, and they treated me like I was just as famous. I never met Martha. She barely she barely sent me emails.
Of course.
But,
No, I remember I was in a wedding reception line. I was up there for a wedding buddy of mine getting married, and a woman nearly passed out when she saw that I was in line. Because I was like a primetime host. I was hosting from 10 p.m. until 1 o'clock every night. I was there, finished up the day man for at least a couple years. So it was fun.
It's so lovely. Chuck is so great. I think we definitely need to implement his idea on behind the scenes. I think a lot of people,
we should have like a squeaky door as a voice, as a sound effect. We're going behind the scenes.
Here we go. And I'll be careful. I won't ruin anyone, but I do have some dirt.
Yeah, you're mentioning names. Adrienne, she's got you on a bullseye right now.
But I didn't say anything that wasn't true, and I didn't disparage her as a person.
No, absolutely not.
She was super direct. I don't like your lips. Get out.
You know what? That's the nature of the business.
Yeah.
You want to have a friend, get a dog. All right, let's do one more topic before we call it a week.
Okay, let's do yours.
No, don't do mine. Let's do another one of yours.
All right, we did my Yoda thing. Okay, let's do. Well, I said behind the scenes. What's your subscription? Want to do that real fast?
Sure.
Okay, so I put a couple things here in the room just because I love supporting. You know this, people that I love, and I love feeling like we're all kind of connected. And so if you support, then it goes through the world, right? So I have a lot of friends that have started businesses or done different things. The one thing that is my subscription that I just did it because it was for my health, and this was before the pandemic. I talk about these a lot. 8 greens. They are the thing that I talked about that is for your immune system. So you get 8 servings of greens every single day. It's just simply a tablet. You put it in your drink. It tastes fantastic. I can't say enough. I get no revenue from this. Everybody I love, I've told 8 greens. It's nice. Do it every single day.
What happens when you don't take them?
Well, I don't know. You're supporting your immune system. I suppose it would be like, having a day where you're eating crap food and you just don't feel great. I mean,
do you have a feeling like, oh, I'm taking these, I feel better?
Well, I will definitely say part of it is psychological because I'm thrilled that I'm taking something, but I also do Daily Harvest, which is smoothies and drinks.
How much is Daily Harvest?
You can pick and choose. I think I get
just answer the question.
I don't know. I literally have my daughter order it. I have zero idea how much I pay for it.
You're making so much money. It's not even funny.
I really am, but it's because you can pick and choose 4, 6, 8 every other week. What I like about it is if we get too many built up, we can stop it for a month. They're very flexible, but then you have great drinks that taste like banana strawberry, but it has spinach and kale in it.
I love it. I was going to look at that Daily Harvest.
Look at Daily Harvest because it's something I would never do on my own. It's much cheaper to, get it that way. Also, I do this, fresh coffee beans. I made a friend on American. This is in Salt Lake City, Utah, but they travel all over the world. So this one's from Ethiopia. They support small villages with their coffee growing. And so I like the idea of that. And I really love this woman. So she has a place in Salt Lake City called Kings Peak Coffee. So I support them. So that's something that I do every month too. So I do a lot of things like that where it makes me feel great. I love the product and I feel like I'm supporting other people. I think that's super important.
So this segment should be called "Why Melinda's a Better Person Than You."
I don't.
Everybody.
I think it's pretty clear. I don't even think we have to say it. So tell me, what do you have subscriptions?
That's an interesting thing. I don't have a subscription, but I buy something on a regular basis. I do 2 things for my health. That's an interesting question. I don't have any props. I wasn't primed, but I take glucosamine every day. Glucosamine, chondroitin every day. It's liquid. I buy them in January. They're on sale at Costco. I buy 12 of them.
Oh.
Usually they're about $25 a piece. In January they're like 15. So I buy 12 of them right there. I always get a look from the guy saying, you really can't, limit is 7, but I'll give it to you this time.
Why is the limit 7?
Who knows? I'm just trying to buy stuff. I'm not reselling it on the internet, although you probably could. It'd make a sweet $2.
Yeah, totally worth it.
And I've been a big fan of fish oil and my vitamins, lutein and zeaxanthin. That's why I don't use any glasses to see short, long distance everywhere.
And how did you figure out this is what you needed to take?
I think I ran across an article 10 years ago. Yeah, there we go. And then Bausch & Lomb came up with their version of this thing, right? But my version of this thing, I'll show you the pills next time, is like 5 times as powerful as the Bausch & Lomb.
Okay. See, and you know what I really recommend? Do you have friends on Etsy? I have friends on Etsy, so I try to promote their. No friends on Etsy. Okay.
No, I don't. But I mean, that's a wonderful thing to do. I mean, to support your friends that are doing art and creating one-of-a-kind pieces. Stunning. It's absolutely.
It takes so little to support other people. I did buy your friend's book from her site directly. So do you have it there?
Once again, better than me.
Let's promote it. I'm very excited about it. My friend Jackie Denning also wrote a book that's on Amazon. I'll show it to you when I get it. I just found out about it. She camps. She's very interesting. There it is. One More Iris by Darcy Greco. I'm very excited to get started. You know, I like to read, so I'm very excited about this book.
I was crying on page 15.
I know. I can't. You never cry, so I can't wait.
I couldn't, you know, so now you'll be on page 14. What's going to happen?
Okay, well, we're going to find out. So thank you so much for bringing Chuck on. That was really refreshing. I really love this guy, and I really am inspired by his idea of doing behind the scenes.
All right, let's put that into our things to do list. And that's on that note, we're done for the day, my darling.
Okay. Well, happy weekend.
Thank you, and thanks for watching. That's another one in the can. Thanks for watching. Let's Unpack Some Shit with Tom Wise and
Melinda McKinesy.
Have a great weekend, everybody.